was driving at like 70 and above, and he starts dozing off again, like his head is bobbing. Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. If you are watching this video, that means obviously you liked the first video and I did something right and you actually enjoy watching me. But today's video will be a story time, and this story time means a lot to me because it basically explains when I first moved to Florida last year in August 2017. And if you guys know anything about me, you guys know that whenever I was convincing my parents to come to Florida, that was my biggest struggle. Not only because of just like being independent and moving, like obviously parents get concerned with that, but because of the hurricane. And Florida knows, if you guys know anything about Florida, Florida is known for their hurricanes. Like it legit starts June 1st and ends November 30th. And my birthday is June 1st, and I've always loved my birthday. But when I found out the hurricane season starts on June 1st, I was like, birthday, why you do me dirty? But basically, after looking at the research and telling my parents how my sister and I were pretty much capable of everything, of handling the situation, we knew how to get help, and just basically doing research on what Floridians do during hurricane season, and convincing our parents to the best of our ability, they finally let us go to Florida. Now, what the ironic part is that Hurricane Irma, if you guys know, literally hit 1 or 2 weeks into my freshman year. And my parents had dropped me off for orientation and all that. Like we had a mini vacation right before college started and everything was good. And then once they left, classes started the next week. I had 1 week of class, then I had another week. And I remember because exams for all my classes were coming up the next week, the following week. And then all of a sudden we got this email that said that hurricane category 3, I think it was, is coming. And so all classes would be canceled from like Wednesday to Friday. And I was really excited and I was confused, but I was also really excited because outside it was really sunny. Everything looked really clear and great. I had all these friends who we all liked hanging out, and I was like, now we have more time to hang out. Like, I don't understand what this hurricane is, but if this is a perk of coming to Florida, I'll take it. But actually, by that night, or not that night, maybe the next morning, it started looking a little bit creepy outside. And guys, this is very embarrassing to admit, but please tell me why I didn't know what a hurricane was. Like, please tell me why I expected the sky to like open up and like fire to come down from the heavens and tornadoes to be coming through. Like, I was kind of excited to see what was gonna happen. I was like, if this hurricane wants to come, let it come. Let it come. Like, let me see what's gonna happen. I was really excited. I didn't know it was like heavy, like torrential rainstorm, crazy winds. I didn't understand it, and I could have just searched it up, but I mean, why do that when you can just stand in fear and live and see what happens in reality? But basically, my sister and I, we didn't even tell our mom until later because we were like, it's not a big deal. It's just like having like snow days in the north. Just stay in your dorm, hang out, study here and there, and then it'll be good by the time Friday comes around, and then the weekend we'll have classes on Monday. But then I started noticing that everyone was leaving. Like, even kids who had told me like that they weren't trying to leave until like Christmas were packing their stuff and they were going back home, and I was like, why is everyone trying to leave? Like, it's not that serious. But then I called my mom and I told her, everyone's leaving. This is actually probably really serious. Like, what are we gonna do? And she said, let me call my friend. Tell me why her friend was like, we basically just sit down through all the hurricanes. Like, nothing really ever happens. And my mom was like, they have said that it's going to be a category 5, like by this weekend, and you're not trying to leave? She was like, no, actually family time. My mom turned off the phone as fast as you could say Jack Robinson and called us and was like, y'all, I'm getting you guys a driver. This driver will drive you to Georgia, where her other friend lives and where we used to live growing up. She was like, this driver will take you to Georgia. Y'all are gonna stay there and wait out the hurricane and then come back. And I was thinking like maybe an Uber, but like it's 8 hours, so I wasn't really sure what she was talking about. Turns out that this driver that she had hired was one of like her Nigerian friend. Don't ask me. I was just like, I don't want to die, so let me go. Because this thing that started off as a joke was no longer a joke. I was scared. So I was like, okay, let's do this. So my sister and I, we packed all our stuff, and then we were waiting for this driver. Apparently they said the driver lived in Georgia, so he was driving to Florida to pick us up and then going back and driving all the way back to Georgia again, which is basically 16 hours of driving. And so I was already planning, you know, he can just like sleep in the guest dorms downstairs or whatever it is if he's gonna be tired, because obviously he's gonna be tired. Tell me why this guy comes at like what? He makes it at like 9 o'clock the next day, so on a Thursday, and he says, let's go, like, get your stuff, come on, let's go. And I was like, no, like, you can just sleep in the dorms, like, we know you're tired, like, there's no rush. The hurricane shouldn't be hitting until like maybe like Thursday or whenever it does hit, like, there's no rush. Like, I know it's important, but it's okay, you can sleep. He was like, no, like, I'm good, like, this is business, y'all are paying me. And I was like, yeah, we know, but we also don't want you to be driving if you're tired. And then he started getting low-key aggressive. He's like, I'm not tired, like, I'm ready to go, let's go. And I was like, oh, okay. So my sister, being extra, she took a picture of like the license plates and she like put it on her Snap. She was like, yo guys, if you don't see me, if you don't find me, this is the license plate, this is the driver I'm with. Like, he kind of seems sketchy. He's a friend of a friend of a friend, so we don't even know him. So, you know, we get in the car, everything's good, we're driving, and like there's a little bit of traffic because people are trying to escape or evacuate from this hurricane, but it's not that bad yet. So we're going and we're driving, and then everything's going great. I kind of fall asleep for a little, but we told each other, my sister and I, like, we're gonna take turns sleeping. I'll sleep for like an hour, and then you'll wake up, then I'll wake up and you'll sleep for an hour, we'll switch off. That was the deal. So we were driving and I slept, then woke up and she was like, no, I'm good, we can just keep on, I'll stay awake, we can both stay awake, I don't really care. And I was like, okay. But we noticed he didn't turn on the radio, and we were like, that's a little bit, you know, weird, because people turn on the radio, especially if they're driving for a long time. But we didn't want to disturb him, so we didn't say anything. Because my sister and I have this thing of being really awkward around people, so that's what we just did. We were like, let's not like demand too much. So we're driving, and then it's starting to get dark outside, and we notice like he's yawning a lot, and we're like, you know, it's not a big deal, he's tired. But then all of a sudden he starts dozing into sleep. Like, we see his head bob a little bit. My sister's like, yo, did you see that? And I was like, I didn't even see it. So I was like, no, like, you're just being dramatic, we're good. Then we see his head bob again. This time I see it. I'm like, maybe he's like looking at something. Like, there's no way. Like, he said it so confidently that he's not tired, that he knows what he's doing. There's no way he's sleeping. So then my sister tries to start up a conversation with him to make sure like everything is good. She's like, yo, so hi, where are you from? And he starts talking about like, oh yeah, like, I'm originally from Nigeria, like, my daughter is there, she's in boarding school. I don't understand how kids of your generation are here in America. Like, a kid is not ready to fully function in America until they're 20 at least. So my kid's not moving here till she's 20. And honestly, at that point, I was kind of annoyed about what he was saying, but I was like, hey, if it keeps him up, if he's talking, we're driving, we're good. Like, I don't even care. So we're like, yeah, definitely, kids of this generation, yeah, we're just so horrible. And he's like, yeah, like, I don't understand why there be kids, like, going out to parties. Like, I didn't go out to a party till I was, like, 30. And I was like, And we were just listening, and then we were like, okay, like, kind of like not responding anymore because we were kind of getting tired of the conversation, and he was talking a bunch. But as long as he was okay, like, awake, we didn't really care. So we keep driving, and he stops talking for a while. Then we look to see if he's gonna turn on his radio, but he doesn't. So then my sister was like, maybe I should play music out loud. I was like, that's kind of like disrespectful, don't do that. Like, if you have headphones, just listen to it with your headphones. But then later, again, we're on the highway and there are cars. And like, it's full on traffic. There are cars on the left side, right side. There are trucks, like, everyone's trying to leave. And it's a full on, like, everyone's driving at like 70 and above. And he starts dozing off again. Like, his head is bobbing, and it's like not just bobbing up and down, it's just staying there. He's driving. I was so shook. I was like, this is the guy that we told to go get like a 1 hour nap whenever he came over to our dorms, and he said no, that he was fine, that it was service. Now, like, what's the service gonna be if we die at the end of the day? So my sister literally yanks off her headphones and blasts her music as loud as she could, but like with the highway, the noise and everything, you couldn't really hear it. So I tell her, like, forget that, like, alternative rock, put on like some Drake or something really loud, some like trap music so that he can hear it. And she was like, okay. And then she was on Pandora, like, searching, and then she puts on, like, I think like Drake or something like that, and like the music is pretty loud, and we like try to sing along, but it's kind of awkward. And then he wakes up a little bit when he hears us, and he continues driving. But then again, he starts bobbing until finally he's just like literally just not driving. It's just going autopilot by itself. And I was so scared. I was like, excuse me, sir, so your daughter, like, what year is she coming again? Like trying to bring up his daughter again to see if he was gonna like at least, you know, wake up and get into it. And thank God, because he did start talking about his daughter for a little bit. And this was basically the pattern until like I called my mom and I was like, yo, I'm scared. And like I texted her, I was like, this guy is literally falling asleep. And that's when she panicked. She was like, okay, you know what, I'm getting you guys an Uber, like you guys are gonna transfer to the Uber. And I didn't realize how close we were until I started seeing lots of signs that was close to the city that we were going to. And it was like a city apparently pretty close to the like border of like Georgia and the like north of Florida. So like it wasn't like we had to keep on driving for longer into Georgia. We were just going like straight there at the tip and we would be good. So I was like, okay, we're almost there, I think. Like I'm seeing lots of signs that are saying like the city. And she was like, no, if he's falling asleep. So I was like, sir, do you want to like stop for a little bit, like and rest? And he got super aggressive. He was like, I'm good, like what's the problem? We'll still pay you if that's the problem, but like we do not want to die. And he was like, I'm fine. And we're like, okay, sorry. And we keep driving for a little bit, and then finally I call my aunt that I'm supposed to be going to her house, and I was like, what's your address? And she texted to me, and I saw we were like 20 minutes away or less. And so he did try to doze off a bit. Like even as we started getting closer to the place, I thought he would be alert, like, you know, my destination's almost here. No, he was still pretty sleepy and tired, which I don't blame him, but like don't put kids' life on top of it. You were literally sitting there talking about, you know, your daughter and like her future and the plans you have for her. There are 2 young innocent lives in the back seat and you are sleeping on the road. I'm sorry, but call me crazy if that is not, you know, if I call that crazy action. I was really like confused and I was really scared, but you know, successfully we made it to the house and we were safe and we were okay and no one needed to track the license plate. But that was probably the scariest thing that ever happened to me because I legit thought I was gonna die. If you guys had any crazy driving experiences or even Irma experiences, please put it down in the comment below. I just find it funny how the hurricane didn't affect me at all, but the driving is what affected me in the midst of a hurricane. It's pretty ironic. But thank you so much guys for watching this video. If you liked it, please put comments below and put your own story, like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.
Can't stop, won't stop, get guap. 10 white toes and them Tory flip-flops. Manicures and pedicures, I'm always tip-top. When they say I'm not hot, all these lies need to stop. Cause I'm icy, wifey.